I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Courtside Soundoff podcast. Once again, I'm Josh Evanoff. As always, welcome by the one and only man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, future Jiu-Jitsu world champion, Angel Ortega. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week, boys. UFC 296 to go over, the Day of Reckoning boxing card featuring Joshua and Wilder going down, as well as a bit of news. Obviously, a little bit of a holiday edition of the podcast, of the Courtside Soundoff podcast. This will be coming out right before Christmas. If you guys haven't done your shopping yet, why don't you go ahead and hit up Rogue Energy or ELYXR.com, our two sponsors of the show. Rogue Energy keep me fueled up, no matter where I'm at, whether I'm at the gym, whether I'm watching UFC with the boys, whether I'm hanging out at home. It gets me to the finish line. It can help you get there as well. With code Soundoff at checkout for 10% off. ELYXR, the exact opposite. If you want to chill out, have a nice night with some Delta 8, go ahead and hit them up. Code Soundoff for 10% off. They've got blunts, they've got rolls, they've got, they've got it all there. They've got gummies. And, once again, code Soundoff for both of those. ELYXR.com and Rogue Energy. Like I said, it's a holiday edition. Why don't you go ahead and buy something for somebody or treat yourself, Nonetheless, though, look, man. UFC 296 going down last Saturday night from the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. There was a lot of talk going into it, a whole lot of talk. Dead fathers.
Oh, God.
The former president, was gonna put the title around his waist.
I was about to say, Josh, Big Joe was there?
Big Joe. Yeah, dude, fucking, with the loss now, fucking, he's gonna become a huge Joe Biden fan. No, but anyways, yeah. Colby Covington, for all that talk, ends up getting absolutely dominated by Leon Edwards. Rocky ends up winning on the card 49-46, 49-46, 49-46. Look, dude, Colby had success in the final round. He was able to get Leon down. Outside of that, though, Leon won every single facet of the fight, even taking Colby down 2 times as well. He battered him on the feet. He battered the legs. I know some people were saying, he didn't go for a finish, and I think that's definitely fair. You can't say that. But still, it was one-sided domination. What'd you make of the fight, and what'd you make of Colby Covington afterwards coming out and saying that he was robbed and so on and so forth and yada, yada, yada?
I mean, overall, I think I'm disappointed. Not in the fight itself, but at the end of the day, Leon did what he had to do, Colby looked, in my opinion, I thought he looked old. It was weird. I think kind of like the typical Colby things we see, that pressure coming forward, maybe taking a hit or two and kind of getting a few exchanges and then going for the takedown. None of that was present in this fight. On top of that, dude, I love one thing that Colby's corner did say. They're like, Colby, you're the challenger. You need to be going out there. And that's something I think a lot of people forget. It's like there's a reason the champ's called the defending champ and the challenger's called the challenger. The champ's going to defend his title in whatever capacity that is. And sometimes that's fighting a pretty safe fight. And then, you as a challenger, you got to penetrate through that defense, however that is, and get to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's partially why, I know that we talked about it a little bit on Fight Night, and I know that's something that a lot of people have pointed out since, but the commentary on the night of, talking about, it's bad optics for Leon to not do this or not do that. Why isn't he doing this? Why isn't he doing that? It's like a lot of people forgot, and Colby himself forgot that he's the fucking challenger. And in order to win the title, you do have to go ahead and do something, Yeah, he got outstruck on the feet. He got taken down. We have to also talk about this part of it too. On Fight Night, Leon headed into enemy territory. He was being booed heavily. Colby Covington's entire thing is being a shtick, but he was almost the favorite in a lot of people's eyes going into the matchup. Trump was there. They had the whole USA chant. And then the fight ends. And that same crowd that was nonstop Colby Covington booed him out of the fucking arena during his post-fight speech. Trump himself didn't even stay around for his post-fight speech. It kind of feels like it's not the end of the gimmick because he doubled down in his post-fight scrum and in his post-fight interview. But does it feel like that he's starting to actually lose whatever fan base he actually has? Because for a long time, he was able to talk the talk and walk the walk. Now that was a abysmal performance on Saturday.
Yeah, no, I am 100% sure he lost some fans after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, and something we should also say too is he went ahead and afterwards he called out Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. What do you think about that, Angel? I know that I said
Jesus Christ, dude. We are not actually try to justify or say this is actually a good idea.
Yeah, exactly.
He's asking for Wonderboy after a loss. I mean, I guess he lost too, but come on, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, dude. And I thought it was funny because on the night of, I said he just thinks he can beat Wonderboy and probably get a title shot, and then he called out Wonderboy. It's like, fuck, dude, fucking, I was right on that one. But yeah, dude, in terms of Rocky, man, a dominant win. We don't really know what's next. The entire build up to this fight, and for months now, Bilal Muhammad was supposed to be the next challenger. On fight night, Dana was like, I don't know. I'm not going to commit to that. Do you think it will end up being Bilal Muhammad next?
I think it should be, and I think it will be. I think he'll actually get it. Unless we get a fight announcement, Josh. Shockbot Rockbottom versus Bilal Muhammad, a title eliminator.
Yeah, right?
Which doesn't sound actually insane. I feel like they would actually do that.
I would agree that they would do that. However, apparently, Shawkat, who we're going to talk about in a minute anyway, apparently he fought Wonderboy with a torn something in his leg so that he's going to need surgery for. Yeah. Something in his leg. I don't remember exactly what the injury was, but yeah, he's going to need to go get surgery. So that kind of takes Shavkat even out of the conversation. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean,
Bilal should be chilling, dude. They're not going to give anybody else that fight right now.
Yeah, they really shouldn't. Weirder things have happened though. Colby jumped him once, so I mean, it's just.
See, the thing is, I don't even think
jumped before. So
as I say, the thing is, I don't even think it's who's Leon fighting next, who's Colby fighting next. I know you already kind of brought up the Wonderboy thing that he had mentioned, but I'm like realistically, who's he gonna fight next? I thought Sean Brady. That's what I said the night of.
Mm-hmm. I could see him retiring.
But I hope. No,
I mean, I could genuinely see Colby retiring. Not because he's not at that level or not that he's, not confident or whatever. But I think he probably doesn't want to try and I think he realizes that he's not gonna be in a position like this again. You know what I mean? There's only so many times where you can go ahead and get a title shot after one win. I mean, that's happened 3 times in a row now. But this fight was so bad that he's going to need to string together some wins in order to get a shot at the belt. And I don't think he's going to want to do that. And I also don't think he's going to fight guys like Shavkat because he already said he's not going to fight Shavkat. It's just in guys like Shavkat in his post-fight speech.
Do you really think he wants to fight Shavkat?
No. I'm just saying, he made it clear in his post-fight scrum that he doesn't want to fight Shavkat or any other young guy. That's why he called out Wonderboy. So, I mean, maybe Colby will come back. Maybe he'll get, but I think we're at that point now where he's probably in the Dustin Poirier situation, which is funny because, they've talked about fighting in the past where it's kind of
should they make that fight for the UFC 300?
Shit. I wouldn't hate it. Neither guy's doing anything right now,
Shit, he, Dustin really doesn't want to fight contenders or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. And he's been upfront about it. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know who Colby's going to fight next. Realistically, it could be, if I had to put a name out there, he'll fight Poirier, if I had to guess, Poirier in a year. I don't know. That's my general guess. I don't think he's going to fight anybody in the rankings. He's shown no interest in wanting to do that,
They should have hired us, Josh, as the matchmakers.
Well, yeah, I mean, the issue is that we wouldn't work for them because the guys that we want to, I don't know how they view Colby Covington. Honestly, a lot of it just depends on how the matchmakers and how Dana views Colby at this point. If they think he's still worth the draw, then maybe they'll give him Wonderboy and a title shot, it's more than possible. I mean, he's going to be 36 in less than 2 months. But at the same time, I mean, they keep on going back to the well with him, so realistically, that could happen again, you know? But at the same time, it just depends on how they feel. That's why I think it's too early to tell, you know? Mm-hmm. Any closing thoughts on the main event? Because I do want to talk about that co-main event as well.
No, I mean, I think outside of what we've already mentioned, I think we kind of recapped it well. Like I said, a little underwhelming, but not surprising, because I thought that was like how the fight ended up playing out could have been one of the outcomes in my head. You know, I would have wanted a little bit more. I do kind of wish Leon would have put a little bit more emphasis. I will say it now, because he looked good. I think he could have done whatever he wanted in there, and he didn't. I don't know if he could have got Colby out of there. Colby's obviously a hard guy to finish. I've never been knocked out or choked out. You know, obviously, the fight stopped with fake stoppage, though, you know?
Yeah, right?
So, even then, right, debatable. But no, I just wanted more out of both guys a little bit, I will say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is more than fair, dude. I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't have too many more deeper thoughts on it. I mean, I think you know, DC and Joe have been criticizing Leon a lot for not pushing the pace and not getting a finish, and I get that. But Colby's also a hard guy to finish, and I don't know. I guess I don't know what people wanted out of him. I thought he clearly won, you know, 22 minutes of the fight, so you know, it is what it is. Regardless, man, that co-main event was an interesting one. Alexander Pantoja defeating Brandon Royval by unanimous decision, 50-45, 50-45, 49-46 on the scorecards. 5th win in a row for Pantoja, first ever title defense. Brandon Royval had some moments, especially on the feet in that 5th round. It looked like he was starting to put a comeback together, was unable to get the finish. What'd you make of it?
Look, I thought Royval kind of, before the fight, kind of gave me what I expected. Tough, always going to be there, you know, full effort. And Pantoja was just like, overall, the whole fight a step ahead. I will say I was a little, I don't know, that after the fact, I felt some type of way about it, especially how the fight ended and everything, because especially in the wrestling department, he kind of got to do whatever he wanted to Royval. Some of the little striking exchanges late, like you mentioned, there were kind of interesting. You kind of thought, okay, maybe he can get something going here. Could we see some late fight magic? It didn't end up getting that, but I feel like both guys kind of showed us what we already knew about both of them, and that was kind of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It was an okay fight, man. I mean, I liked that both those guys emptied the gas tank. They both went for it. Brandon Royval will be back, man. I think this is still a guy that's improving leaps and bounds. And you saw that from the first fight to the second fight, man. That first fight happened just over 2 years ago. Wasn't that long ago. But I feel like he's improved leaps and bounds. And it showed in the fact that he did not get overwhelmed. He showed his class. First ever 5-round fight for him, too, I believe. Yeah, Brandon Royval is going to be around for the long haul. In terms of Pantoja, man, you know, maybe not as exciting of a title defense you want for your first, but dude, he's coming off a Fight of the Year contender. I'm not going to say it's the Fight of the Year. Soundoff awards are next week, you know, but yeah, a very nice win for him. More than likely going to be facing the winner of Brandon Moreno, Amir Albazi, which, dude, I mean, Brandon Moreno, more than likely. I mean, I like Albazi. I'd probably pick him in that fight. Brandon Moreno, I mean, we're looking at potentially Brandon Moreno being a part of not only the first quadrilogy in UFC history, but the second. And the craziest part is that he's already lost 3 times to Pantoja. But shit, maybe 4th time's the charm, man.
Well, what on tough, but you know, we don't count those on the record.
I know. They sometimes count them, they sometimes don't, you know? Like, it's weird. But, yeah, regardless, what do you think about that being the next potential, either Amir Albazi or Brandon Moreno being next for Pantoja?
I like that they have a clear path. I think that was, I'm glad the UFC made that matchup, because obviously there was some disappointment with the KKF fight, obviously with that decision at the time, and just kind of give that reinforcement for if Albazi does beat Brandon, kind of like, okay, I deserve this shot, you know, I was meant to be here. And for Brandon, kind of another opportunity by taking on a guy who's, you know, who's right there too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy they made the matchup, officially going down in Mexico City, I believe in February, I want to say. So yeah, we won't have to wait that long to see it, man. Flyweight is popping right now, man. Flyweight's a fucking killer division, and I'd love to see it moving, man. Speaking of killers, dude, we mentioned him a couple of minutes ago. Shavkat Rakhmonov. He allegedly fought Wonder Boy injured. You know, they had Tenacious D in the corner. In the end, though, it did not matter for Wonder Boy. Shavkat gets the submission win in round 2, moves to 18-0. 18 wins, all coming by way of finish. Jesus Christ. What'd you make of his win on Saturday? Not the most, pleasing fight to watch, but it was domination.
He got the finish, though, man. I knew, look, no matter what, I knew I was going to be there. Because the one thing about Shavkat, he's always going to try to get that finish. He's always going to get it. All he knows is kill, man. All he sees is red, Josh. This man always sees red. If you look through his eyes, all he sees is red.
That's all he sees. Yeah, man.
He got him out of there, though. Like, regardless of what anybody says, like, Wonder Boy's a hard guy to get out of there. His only ever loss was Anthony Pettis Superman punch. Before this fight, nothing had ever finished Wonder Boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And that was the first time Wonder Boy had been submitted, too. For a guy that's not really thought of as being decent on the mat, that was his first ever submission loss, man. And look, I'll give Wonder Boy some credit, man. He had he wasn't really taken down early in that first round. He was able to stay on his feet. He showed great balance, especially for being 40 years old. I thought maybe he was even going to make it to the third. Got submitted in the final seconds, though. Yeah, I mean, look, man, basically a flawless victory for Shavkat Rakhmonov, man. I'm not sure who will fight next. Realistically, I mean, in an ideal world, like I mentioned, I think, they'll probably give Colby, an easy, a tune-up fight next, which is just generally how they booked him for his career, right? Ideally, though, I would book, Leon versus Bilal, and then I would book, fucking Shavkat versus, Colby. That's my ideal world, And then the winner of Kevin Holland versus MVP versus Wonder Boy. Fuck it,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they should hire us. No, but anyways.
We're gonna get cut if MVP wins that though, Josh. We get Wonder Boy and Holland too.
Exactly. Yeah, but the first one was a fucking banger.
I guess you're right.
So I wouldn't hate it. And by the time they fight, it would be what?
But you agree though, Shavkat's next in line though, like
he has to be near the top. Yeah.
Right after, once Bilal gets his title shot, whoever wins that, he gets the winner of that, and that's it.
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, he has to be very close. I understand that they got to give Bilal the title shot. He worked his ass off, and he won a title eliminator, man. Why do we keep on doing fucking title eliminators if we're not giving this guy the title shot? Yeah, they got to give him to it next. Regardless, though, dude. Yeah, there were two fights in this card that were seen as sacrifices. It's clear who the UFC wanted to win here.
Jesus, Josh.
It's true. It's clear who the UFC wanted to win in some of these fights. So we'll go ahead and hit the next one on the main card. Paddy Pimblett, Paddy the Baddy, back for the first time in a year, defeats Tony Ferguson by unanimous decision, 30-27s across the board. Here's what I'll say. I don't know how you feel about it. I think Paddy Pimblett showed improvement, and at the same time, I'm still kind of underwhelmed. I don't know. I don't know how you feel. That's kind of how I feel about it. What did you make of that fight, man?
To an extent, I mean, there's a little things you got to take. He's been gone for a while. He's coming off of surgery in his leg. He was in a high pressure situation, like always in every fight, right? Taking on a game guy in Tony, who I know lately hasn't been, and for a while now, hasn't been looking that great. But he's still a dangerous man in there. The cardio kind of looked a little rough near the end, which was a worry. But look, in the end, Paddy ended up getting the result the result the UFC wanted to get, the result he wanted to get, and the result that we expected to get. But you're right, there is some little red flags there, but I do think they can be adjusted. It's just they need to happen now,
Mm-hmm.
And that there's not a lot of time to wait.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, fair enough, man. Fair enough. in regards to Paddy Pimblett, I see some people who are like, oh, he's still improving, he's still this, he's still young, but like, look, man, he's not fresh off the Contender Series. Paddy Pimblett's gonna be 29 in a month. He's approaching 30 very fast, dude. So, yeah, I mean, I was not that impressed. Like, yeah, like he had the long layoff, which is true. He's coming off an injury, so I'm willing to give him a lot of credit. And here's what I will also say: I also thought Tony Ferguson showed more life in this fight than he has in a long time.
Oh yeah.
Like he dropped Bobby Green, sure, and he didn't. I mean, he was technically, I believe, he was winning the Nate fight on the scorecards until he got subbed. But this is the first time that he looked like alive in there. He was kind of trying to push the pace. In that third round, man, you got to give Paddy some credit. I mean, Tony was coming on. It looked like Paddy was tired. Tony was landing. He even outlanded him in that round, I believe, by like 10 strikes overall if we look at the UFC stats. He was pushing the pace early in round 3, and Paddy, using the veteran move, took him down, kept him down there, and got the win. I guess the only thing to really ask after UFC 296, I mean, it was a busy card, big night. Here's what I'll ask you. Who did a better job in the corner, Angel? Was it David Goggins or was it Tenacious D? David Goggins was in the corner of was in the corner of Tony. Tenacious D, Jack Black, Kyle Gass, they were in the corner of Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Who do you think did better on Saturday night?
I'll tell you what, only one of those fights went the distance, so.
I guess what you're saying is that Tony carried the boats to the finish line. He didn't win, but he got there.
Yep.
Anyways, I will say they're both better than Joshua Fabius, though. That is, you got to give him credit,
Dude, they go to the corner.
Yeah, exactly right. Anyways, man. Next up dude, what a fucking main card, though. I mean, I will say, like, maybe not all these fights were the best, but in terms of like just crazy shit happening, I mean, I thought we were talking about it. We literally thought Bryce Mitchell maybe died on Saturday. I mean, he got knocked out in the first round against Josh Emmett, main card opener, inside of 2 minutes, stiffened up badly from one shot, and then had a seizure. Yeah, I mean, man, what do you have to say about that? I mean, that was a horrifying sight.
I said it that night, man. I think we found out what his level is, Because, man, Josh Emmett and Topuria, man, those losses, both, like, his 2 losses have both looked very, very rough, And granted, you gotta look at the opponents he's fighting. Josh Emmett, probably the hardest hitting 145 or maybe ever. And then Elia, who's going to be fighting for the title soon here, man. Like, I'm not going to give him the hardest time, but I do think, like, yeah, I do think the level's been kind of measured. I think he is maybe a top 15 guy, but he's near the bottom. And he'll beat a lot of guys and get a lot of matchups. But there's matchups where he's really going to have a hard time. And I thought we were going to get to this point in the Edson Barboza fight. It took us a little longer, but we got to it a little later than what I expected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. We definitely know the level. We definitely know like the level that Bryce Mitchell is at. Now, granted, he took this fight on short notice, which is definitely, you could definitely argue that definitely played somewhat of a role. I mean, he had a bit over a week, I believe, like 11 days, almost 2 weeks, excuse me. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know what to really say about this. I need to see him take a lot of time off, dude. That's kind of my main thought on it. I don't want to see Bryce Mitchell back in there for like at least a year. Yeah.
I think it was like time off. I think he'll be intelligent enough, believe it or not, to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so, man. That's the type of injury that changes your entire fucking life. So,
come on, Josh. You're telling me getting punched in the head is not healthy.
I know. Crazy. Fucking. I'm too soft, man. It's getting to me. Regardless, though, man. In terms of the prelims,
you actually used to be cool, Josh. You wanted pride rules.
I still want pride rules. Rules have nothing to do with it. I'm just talking about, that poor guy, Yeah, regardless, man. Yeah, in terms of those prelims, there were a couple of bangers on there, a couple big finishes. Which fights do you most want to talk about?
I mean, we got to talk about the ladies that punched in their number late into the fight of the year conversation, dude. Irene Aldana Carol Rosa. That came out of nowhere. Like I saw that matchup and I was like, okay, this could be a banger. You never know. Sometimes you call that and the fight ends up being good or just all right. Yeah. But man, they really threw down, bro. Like they really threw it the fuck down. Those ladies got fucking basically a standing ovation, lots of love, and they both had to go to the hospital immediately afterwards. I think like that shit was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for Irina too, after her last performance, being not really putting it all out there. I feel like against Amanda and taking some big risk. Like it was a good one to come back to, but at the same time, you kind of sit there and think it's like, where was this in that Amanda Nunes fight?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, that was one of the worst title fight performances of the year. But she just looked like she was shell shocked. It looked like the moment got to Aldana a little bit. Not the case here though. Like you said, these two ladies put their name straight into the fight of the year conversation. A straight up fucking banger. You couldn't ask for much better than this, man. And obviously they got the fight of the night bonus. Love to see it, But that was not, that was obviously the best fight on the prelims. But there were some other very, very big ones we also got to highlight too. I mean, Dustin Jacoby, Alonzo Menafield, that was a very fun fight putting on a show. Justin Jacoby, man, won 13 of 15 minutes, man. R.I.P. to your bank account for that one. Shout out Alonzo Menafield upsetting the parlay. But yeah, man. I mean, Cody No Love also returning to the win column. What'd you think about his knockout win, man? I know that he's a guy, 32 years old. I don't want to say he's back, but 2 wins in a row, both pretty dominant. What'd you make of his knockout win over Brian Kelleher?
Good. The one thing I kind of thought about afterwards is like, I think at one point in time, this fight for me would have been a no-brainer. I would have been like, oh yeah, Cody's got that in the bag. But going into this fight, I was kind of like, I don't know, dude, Brian could drop some bombs, I was a little worried. But we got like glimpses of that old Cody Garbrandt, man, and that was really funny. So you saw him get a little cocky too. Like, can you remember the last time where he got, he started playing around a little bit like that? Like, it had been a while where he had, I feel like he felt comfortable enough to show that side of him in the middle of a fight. And I was kind of like, whoa, tone it down a little bit, buddy. It's not done yet,
Yeah, exactly. Like, he was definitely scaring us for a minute there, but in the end, dude, that's why I said it was vintage Cody No Love, dude. I mean, he was taunting out there. He looked happy. 2 wins in a row. It's fucking crazy to think about, dude, but this is the first time Cody Garbrandt has had a winning streak in 7 years. He had the 3 losses in a row. He had 1 win sandwiched in, knocking out a Sun Tzu, lost to Rob Font, lost to Kai Kara. 2023, the year of no love, man. He brought it back, 2 wins in a row.
The last time Cody was on a win streak was when we were in high school and we were 15 years old.
I know, it's fucking crazy to think about, dude. Dude, it's so fucking crazy.
Former champ Cody No Love, by the way. Wild shit.
Exactly. Very wild shit, dude. So shout out Cody No Love. I love seeing him back, man. Love to see it, and hope he's doing well, man. Because whenever he's on, he's one of the most entertaining guys in the UFC. Just haven't seen that for a long time. Regardless, though, man, Ariane Lipsky straight up fraud checked Casey O'Neill. I don't know what she's gonna do from here, dude. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, I know she's 26. But man, her last 3 fights, nearly losing a striking battle on the feet for 15 minutes to our girl Roxy, getting dominated by Jennifer Maia, and now getting dominated by Ariane Lipsky, man. Fucking brutal last couple fights, man. Interested to see how she comes back, and how she responds. And then the prelims, Tigir picking up a big win, Andre Fili picking up a knockout win, Shamil picking up a knockout win. For the final UFC card of the year, there were a lot of bangers, a lot of big moments. And there was one last big moment that we forgot to mention. Obviously, a big night of fights for UFC 296. What'd you make of Sean Strickland's first title defense in the crowd against Dricus du Plessis?
Oh, come on, Josh. Why'd you have to ruin it? There was a retirement on this card, Josh.
Yeah?
Yeah, dude. Did you forget there's a retirement on this card? The retirement of ring card girl Brittany Palmer, Josh. How ignorant of you, dude.
God, you're right. That was the biggest news. That was the biggest news of the weekend. I don't know what I was talking about, dude.
Yeah, it is sick, Josh. I can't believe you just brought that negativity to the show when we had such a beautiful moment this past Saturday.
Just sick to my stomach, you know?
You should be upset with yourself, honestly.
I am, dude. I am upset. I can't believe I didn't mention the retirement of Brittany, dude. You know, and there was one. I think there's 2 people who retired. It was another ring card girl too.
I believe one of the ring card girls announced that she was pregnant. Well, I think might have just recently announced that she was pregnant.
Yeah, it was Ariane. Ariane retired too.
Oh shit.
Yeah, no idea why.
Double retirement fight?
Double retirement fight, bro. We were there in UC Kansas City to see who was it? Ed Herman and Zach Cummings retired, dude. Like, yeah. Now we got Ariane and Brittany, bro. It's
we were not there, but we were present watching the card which they retired on.
Exactly. Yeah. But anyways, man. Yeah. Overall, dude, final UFC the card of the year. A lot of fun. Just to kind of summarize it. A lot of fun, straight up chaos, and hope to close out an interesting year for the UFC. I don't want to say it was a good year. I mean, I would say it was a good year, you know, but there was a lot of bad too. So, and we'll recap it next week. So I don't want to talk about it too much now. But regardless, man, there is no MMA. PFL's off. Bellator obviously on hiatus while they kind of reinvent their themselves with the PFL. One championship off as well. Nothing to really talk about except for a major boxing event going down this Saturday night from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Yes, this card, December 23rd, was supposed to be the date of Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk settling their rivalry, crowning the first unified heavyweight champion in over 2 decades. Unfortunately, that will have to go down in February due to our boy Francis Ngannou fucking turning the world upside down, man.
Boxer of the year, man. Boxer of the year.
Damn straight, brother. Anyways, yeah. But as a result, we are getting this kind of makeshift card that'll hopefully lead into a big fight in March. Obviously, that being between Anthony Joshua, who's fighting in the main event, and Deontay Wilder fighting in the co-main. However, I mean, both of these guys, I don't want to say they're both on upset watch, but I could easily see both of these men losing these fights, man. We'll start off with the main event. AJ taking on Otto Wallin, all in 26-1-0-1. We know the story a bit here with him. I definitely shit on this guy before his fight with Fury, and I don't think that was entirely undeserved. I mean, he fought nobody of relevance, but he nearly upset Tyson Fury in 2019. Ended up losing a close fight on the cards. Since then, he is undefeated, beating names like Dominic Breazeale, and is coming off the biggest win of his career over former unified cruiserweight champion Murat Gatsayev, who, you know, previously gave Alexander Usyk a really tough fight back in 2018. Coming in here hot, man. Coming in here hot, facing Anthony Joshua, who's not really coming in here hot. I mean, he knocked out Robert Helenius, who's took that fight on 1 week notice. Prior to that, he had a close fight with Jermaine Franklin in April. What do you think about this fight, man? 12 rounds. I know that Joshua is a very heavy favorite on the betting line, as he understandably should be. But what do you think about this one, man? It's going to be an interesting night.
I'm excited, man. When this matchup got announced, for one, I was happy for Otto Wallin because it took a little while, right, to get back into the big light. You know, he got his opportunity against Tyson Fury, a few years back now. And like I said, we watched that fight. We kind of. You're like, well, we know what Tyson's probably going to end up doing here, but I was just, I don't know if at the time, but, I know for sure after we were just kind of like, credit where credit's due. He did a lot better than what we thought. Obviously, the cut that, the ever so famous cut that happened on that night, which is something that was brought up a lot. And I remember, the whole conversation is like, if it was anybody else in there, would they have stopped it? That was the whole big thing. And, I mean, shit, time has gone by. Like you said, he's gotten a few wins. He got a big win recently. And, like I said, I'm a fan of this AJ matchup. I don't think it's a give me. I think AJ has a tough game opponent, Otto Wallin, a guy who matches up decently well against him, I think, in height. And like I said, AJ's giving us some scares. I mean, I'm not going to say AJ's a fraud or anything like that, but I don't think any win with him is kind of like guaranteed at this point in his career, And he's had a few interesting moments recently during the fight and post-fight where he's kind of had just some interesting decisions he's made. So I don't know, whatever. I don't have
the use. I know exactly what you're talking about, man. I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh man. Yeah, man. Yeah, going into this fight, man, I mean, look, I really want to say that Otto Wallin's going to do it. I really want to. I got a weird feeling, man. I mean, there's a lot that makes me think, like, damn, he really might pull it off, dude. I mean, just a couple of things, man. For one, very similar in stature, 6'6" versus 6'5.5". Actually, 6'5". If you put a half, I don't trust you. Coming in here, he's undefeated since the fight with Tyson Fury, and that win over Gassiev is just so underrated, man. I understand some people are like, oh, Gassiev, he's not really proven at heavyweight, which is true. He was much more dominated at cruiserweight, and gave Alexander Usyk a tough fight back in July of 2018. Not exactly a close fight. I mean, he had like one good round, but still, I mean, he was still a former unified cruiserweight champion, made to the scorecards when a lot of other guys haven't been able to. And yeah, Wallin just fucking dominated him, man. Similar to the way Usyk did, and I can't overlook that. Technically that was a split decision. But it's boxing, dude. Like, I actually watched that fight. That fight was not close.
Josh, if I fought and went to distance, I could probably get a split decision.
No, I mean, shit, dude. I mean, if I was a big enough draw, absolutely. I think I gave Gassiev like 3 rounds in that fight, 3-4. But yeah, anyways, Wallin coming in here strong, man. And I have not liked what I've seen a lot out of Joshua. Now, granted, his last 2 fights, he's with Derek James with a new coach. And I find interesting, Angel, I'm not sure if you know this, but do you know who he's training with for this fight, AJ?
Dude, I feel like it's about to be, it's not Tyson Fury. That's okay.
No. But he's not training with Derek James. He's training with our boy Ben Davison, former Tyson Fury trainer, who was in the corner for the Wallin fight back in 2019.
Interesting.
Yeah, so AJ, I guess he said that he's going to go back to Derek James afterwards just for this specific matchup on short notice. He wanted to work with Davison.
Why. I wonder if he, I don't want to say worried, but he kind of felt like maybe he recognizes Wallin's probably better than people give credit for, like would credit him for.
Yeah. I'm assuming that's it. I'm assuming that's probably it, dude. Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting fight, man. I think it's going to be a very interesting fight. I don't want to say Wallin is going to pull off the upset, but dude, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility either. I mean, of these 2 fights, I give Otto Wallin a much better chance of beating AJ than I give Parker of beating Wilder. Which we'll preview in a minute. But just official prediction, who do you got on this one? Just for the sake of argument.
I got Joshua. I think Wallin has some upset potential here. I think if you want to do a little side bet, potentially make some plus money, I don't think it'd be a bad option. Not financial advice.
Yeah.
But no, I think out of all the guys who are probably underdogs on this card, I think he's probably one of the, more favorable ones in my opinion. But if he does shock the world on what would it be, Saturday morning, I guess, Saturday evening, don't be surprised. You heard it here first.
Oh yeah. And one last thing I forgot to mention, which I feel dumb for not mentioning, it's one of the main reasons I think might upset him. Otto Wallin is a southpaw. It's not easy to fight a southpaw. In fact, Joshua has 2 losses to a very well-known southpaw. Just putting it out there. So, gonna be interesting, man. Gonna be interesting to see how he deals with his size and his.
I didn't know me and Joshua fought twice, Josh. God, that's good.
Oh, shit, dude. My bad then. Anyways, man. Yeah. Very interested in this fight, man. Very interested. A lot of upset potential. And I will say there is some upset potential in the co-main too, just by virtue of the fact that Deontay Wilder coming back in here hasn't been seen for a year. He is almost 40 years old. I believe he's 30. Yeah, he just turned 38 2 months ago. Hasn't been seen since the knockout win over Robert Helenius over a year ago. Prior to that, he had 2 losses to Fury. Taking on Joseph Parker, who, 31 years young. 33-3. He's won 3 fights in a row against, lower level competition. Prior to that, he got knocked out by Joe Joyce. He's also kind of suffered losses at the very top echelon of the division. Obviously lost to AJ, lost to Dillian White. He's not saying that he hasn't beaten some good guys. That Ruiz win, granted that was controversial back in 2016, but he's had some very big moments. What do you think about this matchup, man? I mean, I'm a big Wilder guy. I mean, I think we've talked about that on the show. Very entertaining guy.
Yeah,
there is still
you know it.
bomb squad. There is definitely, but there's still a possibility that he could suffer an upset loss here, man.
No, yeah, I mean, it's been a while, right? Also, Joseph Parker, game guy, willing to box, go to distance, get it as a scorecard. It's tough, right? You're never going to question Joseph Parker's toughness. But Josh, I hate to say it, I think it's be Bomb Squad!
You think he's going to get him out of there then, I take it?
Oh, yeah. I believe so. I'd be in shock if he doesn't, honestly.
Yeah, that's fair enough, man. That's fair enough. Yeah, I'm on a similar page here, man. Yeah, I think, Joseph Parker has dealt with a lot of damage in his career, and for a long time he was thought of as a guy, maybe not with an uncrackable chin, but a guy that had like a very, an incredible chin. And then that, I can't stop thinking about that fucking Joe Joyce fight where he got bombed on round after round after round, man. Got knocked out for the first time in his career. I can't get that out of my head. I think Deontay Wilder's going to put him down, man. I think Joseph Parker has a lot of damage, been through a lot of wars. I think if this fight might have taken place 5 years ago, I could honestly see Joseph Parker finding a way to maneuver the big right hand and maybe pulling off a win. I mean, very, very quick, especially during his prime. And I want to say he's out of his prime now, but, he's going to be 32, actually, in about 2 weeks. And he's dealt with a lot of damage, been through a lot of wars. I'm going to go ahead and take the bronze bobber to get it done, which if these two do win, I will say, I got to point it out again. If these guys win, they will reportedly fight on March 9th in Saudi Arabia. Apparently it's a done deal. Yeah. Not that long from now. Apparently,
both these guys.
Yeah, apparently it's a done deal. So, going to be interesting, man. Going to be interesting.
By the way, dude, boxing, the only combat sport where a matchup can be made when two fights for the both of the guys are actively going on without knowing the results of it, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, dude, they're playing with fire, dude. Saudi is playing with fire. They already got bit once. They already had to postpone Fury.
Heavyweight, dude.
Yeah.
I guess their hope is that these guys just get bombed out of there, dude. But it's not always the case.
That's literally the only thing I could think of,
Yeah.
In terms of the undercard, there are still some other actually interesting boxing matches, dude. Taking a look at that full thing, if you have it pulled up in front of you, which fights do you most want to talk about? There's definitely a couple of big names on this one.
I'm just talking about Dimitri Bivol, Lyndon Arthur, dude. I mean, they're fighting for a title, something that's being overlooked. Lyndon Arthur, a good guy, but man, that Anthony Yard loss just, I love me some Anthony Yard. I remember I was watching that Kovalev fight, not Sergey, my bad. Kovalev fight. Way back when, and Anthony Yard tagged him, I think, relatively late in that, and I was like, is he about to do it? And then no, it didn't happen. But it got me a little going. I was always I enjoyed Anthony Yard, but I recognized that he had issues, and he was probably not gonna get to that high level, but he's made it really far in his career with the talents he does have. But no, obviously, I mean, it's a title fight, Josh. I mean, these guys are gonna put it all on the line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I fully agree. Very excited to see Bivol back, man. And, Saudi Arabia, goddamn, I really have a lot of my own issues with their sports washing and so on and so forth. But apparently, from what I've heard, if Bivol wins, he's going to fight Beterbiev next summer in Saudi. So they're just making all these fucking... They're just making they're genuinely the best thing to happen to boxing right now in terms of actually getting fights done. That's hilarious, dude. Regardless, though, dude, I mean, obviously, Bivol taking on Lyndon Arthur. Lyndon Arthur, this is, I mean, I don't want to say a tune-up. I'd be very surprised if this fight was close. So, that's all I got to say about it. I mean, Lyndon Arthur, I've seen his fights against Anthony Yard. He seems to be, a British regional level talent. And that's not trying to be mean, and I understand he got an IBO title. That's how he got this fight. Won by knockout in September. But yeah, I don't, even the guy he fought, I doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. So it's it's just one of those things, man.
Josh. Oh man.
That's, I mean, I hate to be mean, but isn't that how you can generally measure it? Is there a time whenever somebody doesn't have a Wikipedia page and they end up just I feel like it's a pretty good rule,
There's probably been one guy, right? One guy who beat the odds.
Yeah, well, there's guys who are significant who don't have Wikipedia pages. Like, I'm surprised that, oh, never mind. They just fucked up. I was about to say Mark DeMori doesn't have a Wikipedia page, and he's fighting on this card. I think he fought David Hay. But he does have a Wikipedia page, so never mind. But yeah, just mentioned he's going to fight Filip Hrgovic on the undercard. Should be a fun one. The rising Croatian undefeated who beat
By the way, they really did throw like 3 young heavyweight, like up-and-comers. Granted, some of these guys, I say young, but they're up in age, like Makhmudov, who's 34. You know, not old, but definitely not a young, 28-year-old, coming into his time. It's taking a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Frank Sanchez, by the way, finally getting his, like, shot at something kind of big, too.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's good. It's a banger of a card. I really gotta say also, I feel like I'm like in fucking Bizarro world, dude. Like this card, do you know how much this card is, by the way?
How much is he charging for it?
It's $39.99.
Oh, dude, I'm actually willing to pay that quantity.
Dude, it's half the price of the UFC's card, and I'd argue this from last week, and I'd argue
that
this
is
better.
Fully worth your money. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that not fucking crazy?
Dude, at first I was like, I might just go to my local Buffalo Wild Wings if you're catching my drift, Josh.
Yeah, exactly.
Me and the boys were thinking about watching this one, and I was just like, well, I guess we're gonna have to go to B-Dubs. You know what I mean?
Nah, man.
I'm willing to spend the $20 between me and some other guy for that.
Yeah, dude, $39.99 is not bad.
I will say $39.99 with the zone. If you don't have the zone, you do have to pay for the zone.
That is true. I believe in, you do have to pay for the subscription to it. But that's the case for ESPN too,
How much is the zone subscription these days?
Shit, I don't have the zone. I have no idea.
I was just curious if you just happen to know for some reason off the top of your head.
No, I don't know. I mean,
so $24.99, by the way.
Oh, really?
$24.99. So I guess if you end up paying for everything, I'm sure it ends up being around. Fucking, what would it be? Day of Reckoning, pay first month. Well, actually, I'm looking at it right now. Whatever. Well, yeah. Well, you almost end up paying what you pay for a UC pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean, but also though, you got to think about the fact that DAZN's been having pay-per-views for a while now. And I think they charged Devin Haney Regis program was like $60, dude. Like, crazy. I just can't believe this card's that low. But regardless, yeah, man, it's gonna be an excellent night of fights. Super fucking excited for it. And it's 2 days before Christmas, dog. I mean, how can you not love that, Like, getting sent straight into the fucking holidays off of this, One last fight we forgot to mention, by the way. The return of Big Baby Miller. I understand he's had a couple of lower tier fights, but dude, he's fucking back, dude. Like, he's talking shit.
Baby.
That big steroid, talking shit to everybody. He's gonna fight Daniel Dubois, and man, I hope fucking Daniel Dubois. I hope he's fucking packing a lunch, dude. I mean, I'm not a big fan. I don't think Joe Miller has much of the top level, but I also don't think Dubois has much of the top level either. So it's like.
Didn't he get into with AJ, like when they were at the Fighter Hotel or whatever, or like?
Yes, he got into. I don't remember what exactly he said to him, but they did get into it there. They have like a legit beef, Sometimes it's for the camera, but those motherfuckers don't like each other.
Like that.
But, anyways, man, that's all we got to preview for this week. We do have a couple of news pieces to go ahead and talk about before we go ahead and make our way out of here. Obviously, we do have one thing to quickly recap. I mentioned UFC recap. I can't believe I forgot about this one, Angel. Jake Paul returned to the cage. God, could you imagine? He returned to the ring.
Well, shit, Josh. He will be returning to the cage soon.
Oh, I'm sure he will. Jake Paul returning to the boxing ring, facing Andre August. We said, wouldn't it be funny if Andre August pulled the upset? Instead, he ends up getting flatlined. Suffers a first-round knockout. Got hit with the uppercut. Jake Paul taking care of business in style, dude. He said this is the start of his real boxing career. I don't know about all that. It was a nice finish, though. What'd you think, man?
I mean, it was good. We kind of talked before. I was like, at this point in Jake's career, in my opinion, no matter what, no no fight is free yet. I generally don't believe that. And he was fighting a guy who had a few bouts under him, quite a bit of rounds, decent bit of experience, probably been doing this longer than Jake. Obviously like you said, he was selected for a reason. He hadn't done it in a while. Was he coming off a loss? I can't remember if he was or wasn't.
He was coming off a decision win. Prior to that, he was off of out of action for 5 years.
So yeah, those all played in as factors. And then on the night of, Jake kind of took business as you would kind of see in a young up and coming guy who's trying to build up his record. He did it in good fashion. His jab looked good. Definitely felt like that was an improvement. You could definitely tell the tools are being sharpened in the shed. I think it showed some growth. And on top of that, he took on just a name in a professional boxer. You know what I mean? Like, credit where credit is due, man. He did what he had to do. I gotta tip it. People were talking shit about that point and all that, but I'm like, I understand because of the game he talks, but I'm like, when you look at his record, where he's at, and all of that, I'm like, I'd say this is actually a very respectable Jake. This is probably the most respectable Jake Paul win he's ever had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I mean, this is it's the best win of his career. We can go ahead and say that. I mean, by virtue of the fact that, like, look, I said this like a while ago. Like, whenever we had like a clip about this, like that I actually did pretty well. And we kind of talked about this fight announcement. I'm like, look, like, this guy is a 175 pounder. He was moving up in weight, took it on short notice, been out of action for a long time. But at the same time, Jake Paul did exactly what he was supposed to do. He flattened the can. You know what I mean? Like that, he took care of business in the way that he was supposed to. I don't have any criticism about this win. Basically a flawless win. He didn't promote it a whole lot. He basically just focused on training. He said this is the start of his real boxing career, which I very much doubt. He still has the PFL deal, and he immediately called out Conor, I think, afterwards in the post-fight press conference, McGregor, or I couldn't remember if that was pre or post-fight press conference. But he was talking about Conor all week again. It seems like talk of a JJ fight's dead. He had his sparring match with Speed, which I guess was fine. Instead, he's been talking about Vidal and all this stuff. I don't really know what's next for Jake Paul, but I will say full credit to him. Best win of his career. There's no controversy. There was no close decision. You can't. There's nothing you really take away from this one. It's like an insult. Like for all the people saying to fight a pro boxer, he fought a pro boxer. Also, a lot of people don't really know how badly a lot of pro boxers are, but regardless, man, no criticism about it. If you had to, who do you think might be next? Do you think it's going to be an actual boxer, or do you think it's going to be like a big name potentially?
Well, look, this past weekend he said that he was going to announce his opponent supposedly this week or not, very soon.
Yeah.
I have no idea what he's going to do next. Like, I felt like his last two, I had literally no idea. Like, maybe there were some minor undertones that I could have guessed, but I really don't. And especially now, I really don't. I really have no idea. Is it going to be JJ? Is it going to be Vidal? I don't know. I just don't have any clear options.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. I literally have no idea. That being said, did you, this is a funny one. I think it's kind of funny. Because I swear to God, I have not heard of this man in 2 years. But Tyron Woodley was actually working Jake Paul's, Jake Paul versus Andre August. He was on commentary. Or at least he was doing some analyst work. Earlier this week, Tyron Woodley said that he wants a trilogy bout in the PFL cage with Jake Paul. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think? What do you think about that, Angel? Do you think Woodley actually makes sense if Jake Paul ever decided to fight in MMA?
They could. It's funny. They could make that match. I don't know how to feel about it. Could you imagine the dark universe where Jake actually beats former champ Tyron Woodley in the PFL Smart Cage? Think about that.
What's funny is I can imagine that.
God.
I can absolutely imagine that happening, honestly. But yeah, man. I mean, look. I'll give this. I'll give it like a 5. Like of the options,
you're like a medium. You're right in the middle.
Like Jake and Woodley had a great rivalry. I'll say that they really did have a great rivalry. But I don't know how much. But at the same time, like, it'd be MMA, so it'd be more interesting to me than if they God forbid, they did a boxing match, you know. But
yeah, their first one, which was, you know, their second one, which was pretty until the knockout.
Exactly, yeah. I don't know how an MMA fight would be. I mean, I'm assuming Woodley would just take him down, but I mean, fuck, dude. I mean, his last like 8 fights overall has just been kind of him sitting there, standing, staring.
I mean, Josh, at this point, I might be able to take down this king.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Nah, fuck it, dude. I'll fight Jake Paul in his MMA debut. Fuck it, you know, like get flatlined for the check. I think that'd be a 10. You know, I'd talk some shit. You know,
Josh is like, I'm shameless, dude. I'll build it up, dude. I'll do the whole Dylan Dennis. You know what I mean?
I will. I don't give a fuck. You know. Anyways, man. Jokes aside. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they'll book this for Jake Paul's MMA debut. I mean, I think they could probably get a bigger name, maybe Nate. But Nate said he doesn't really want to do it, so I don't know. We'll see.
Which is weird to me, because that's like a payday for him. It
is a payday for him, but he's shown interest in going back to the UFC. So
I guess he knows if a Conor fight it's much bigger than the Jake fight in the end.
Yeah, and, you know, he lost to... I think that was like the best case scenario, that fight for Nate. Like, he had some success. He had some moments. He won he definitely won a few rounds, you know, like he didn't look too bad. He made a good account of himself. If he were to go ahead and face Jake in MMA and lose, that'd be catastrophic. You know what I mean? Like, there are some guys who are able to like fight Jake Paul, and like, I feel like that Jake Paul Woodley fight, to an extent, in a lot of people's eyes, like, just completely changed their opinion of Tyron Woodley forever. I don't think that did the same thing for Nate. So I think maybe Nate's thinking, okay, I escaped from that shit show with my reputation intact. I'm going to go back to the UFC and have an insane trilogy fight with McGregor where win or lose, I'm making a lot of money and I'm not destroying my legacy.
Well, the big thing is, too, Tyron was a champ. And on top of that, he got knocked out, you know, whereas Nate has never been a champ. And he didn't get knocked out. You know what I mean? I think if you added all those factors to Nate, then probably actually, people's opinion would change.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough, man. You're not wrong. That's all I got about this, man. That's all I got about this. Jake Paul still says he's going to make his MMA debut next year, but he also does say a lot of things. I do question if he'll ever end up fighting in MMA. I mean, at first I thought for sure, but now he's talking about going all in on boxing, and he's fighting, you know, guys like Andre August. Like, I really don't know. We'll see. But one man who's actually been linked to Jake Paul,
Canelo Alvarez.
No. God, I wish, dude. Well, Jake Paul called out Canelo after. I forgot to mention. That's who he called out. He called out Canelo after his win, dude. Fucking.
Did he actually? Yeah, he's called him out a lot. I mean, it's
not like him. He's called him out a lot.
He's not calling him out. He's just saying his name, really, what it is.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he put up that poster, like, that said they were going to fight in, like, the Las Vegas Sphere, like, years from now. And I'm like, look, man, hey, whatever makes you happy, dog. Whatever drives you, you know, I guess.
Whatever lets him sleep at night, you know.
Yeah, for real. Whatever makes you feel better, dude. But, whatever. Good for him, I guess. But nonetheless, former WWE superstar Matt Riddle, who was released from the WWE earlier this year, he reportedly tried to get a Jake Paul fight, didn't get it. However, he has officially announced at the MMA Awards that he is returning to combat sports in 2024. Angel, what's your interest level? Who do you think he'll sign with? Who do you want to see Matt Riddle fight, if you do care at all?
Oh, man, dude, I'm ready. Karate Combat?
Karate Combat versus fucking Sam Alvey?
Dude, you're telling me that Matt Riddle couldn't potentially win that?
Well, I mean, Matt Riddle, his striking was never that. I mean, he had some great striking moments. But from what I remember of his UFC run, like, he was pretty meh on the feet. His wrestling was like his main base. Fun fact, I don't even think you know this, Matt Riddle beat John Jones 3 times in high school wrestling.
I didn't know that.
It was either high school or college. I can't remember, but yeah.
It's high school.
Yeah, there you go. Well, regardless, yeah. Matt Riddle's back, dude. Love to see it. I do think it's going to be interesting, man. I think he's a guy that if I'm the PFL, you know, I don't know why the PFL hasn't hired me at this point. If I'm the PFL, I'm going out and signing him.
Do you think you do a better job in the PFL or in the UFC? This is actually a good question, Josh.
PFL or any other company besides the UFC, because the UFC doesn't like to do crazy off the wall things that often. And I feel like combat sports it's the only place where you can do freak show and off the wall shit on a consistent basis and have it be like fine. You know what I mean? Like it could be compelling, you know? Like you can do crazy shit. Why not? Why not do fucking Matt Riddle versus Tyron Woodley, winner gets Jake Paul? Fuck it. Why not?
I like that. I like that a lot right there. See, that's what I wanted, Josh. Now you got me sold.
There you go. Now you're fired up. Now you're thinking, dude, fucking Matt Riddle, Tyron Woodley on the undercard of Francis Ngannou versus fucking
some fucking random heavyweight.
No, I don't even know who Ngannou will fight. Some random heavyweight's the best way to put it. Yeah.
JDS.
JD. I mean, fuck yeah. I don't know. Francis Ngannou versus Fedor Emelianenko. Fuck it.
Can you imagine if they got Fedor to fight him somehow?
Fedor already said Fedor Emelianenko. He retired. Dude, I love Fedor. Right. I think Fedor is. We've talked about this. I think he's at the conversation for the GOAT. I know a lot of, it kind of makes me like an old head. I know a lot of, because now in like the UFC, if you win 3 title fights, you're in the fucking conversation according to them. But, you know, he retired and instantly he was another one of those guys who was like, you know what? I would like $2, you know? Like, it's like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you're like 45, dude. Like, please.
He's just got that dog in him, dude. That's all it is.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I know. Well, you know what? We didn't even talk about this. What's your interest level? Because he actually did call out one specific guy. He said that he wanted to fight Mike Tyson in an exhibition boxing match. What's your interest level in Fedor Emelianenko versus Mike Tyson?
See, that could oddly be fun. I didn't have a big issue. I think we talked about this actually like a while back.
A long time ago. I don't know if they ever got in talks or anything, but yeah, interesting. But yeah, man. I mean, in terms of to close out this particular subject, Matt Riddle, man. We'll see who he ends up signing with. If he does end up fighting in MMA, if it's just like trying to get interest from AEW or another wrestling promotion or whatever, you know, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
These are the last bit of news, though. Man, Michael Venom Page is officially in the UFC. Dana White made the announcement following UFC 296 last Saturday. He will officially be facing Kevin Holland in March at UFC 299. Is that the right fight for him? What do you think overall about his signing?
I am very, very happy with this. I will say though, I'm disappointed in Dana, man, because during the presser, he just drops it on us.
Mm-hmm.
He just drops it on us that MVP versus Holland is a matchup. Because I even told you, I'm like, dude, don't you think it would have been cool that when they were doing the, what was the other presser they did? Not the pay-per-view one, what they call it?
The seasonal press conference.
The seasonal press, you can't tell me, guys, that during the seasonal press conference, near the end, boom, the lights go off, music starts playing, or, someone comes out, Joe Rogan comes out, and we have one more announcement, guys. We would have liked to announce the signing of Michael Venom Page!
Yeah.
Instead, we get Dana. He's like, okay, fight bonuses are Aldana, Royval, and Pantoja, and we also have some matches that would be made. Jeff Neal, Ian Gary will fight in Miami, and Kevin Holland and Michael Venom Page. Any questions? Like, dude, like what? Uncle Dana,
yeah.
Uncle Dana, what happened? Where were the theatrics? We were excited. People knew this signing could have happened.
Yeah.
What was he probably is in recent time one of the free agents that we wanted or people wanted in the UFC or in general that kind of had some attention behind him. Because outside of that, who's it been? Like maybe Chandler, but even really then, I think in comparison to Page, like I think Michael Venom Page probably got some more attention than what Chandler did.
I think it's close. I don't want to say it's one way or the other, but it's pretty close. I agree.
But look, the thing is why I think why there's some conversation is because he had interest by Bellator. He got in the cage. He was there. He was meeting with people.
Yeah, you're right.
Where Chandler was kind of like, is he going to resend to Bellator or is it the UFC? That's what I'm saying. I think that's why I think the MVP free agency thing was bigger than the fucking Chandler one at the time.
You make a good point. You do make a good point. Yeah, you make a good point, dude. I think that it was definitely close. And what I will say is I fully agree with you. And that's something that even, like, we talked about, like on Fight Night. We were just, like, talking, like, dude, like, could you imagine if they would have done that? I guess he's not signed, And then he was signed. It's like, what the fuck? Are like, I don't know. It makes no sense to me. It Makes
I
no
saw
sense
some
to me.
funny video of like why Michael Venom decided UFC before the end. The guy had like this whole breakdown. He's like, if you look, the UFC glove in his promo video is on the right, and Michael Venom Page's right hand. I shit you not. This is a whole. And there was more to it. There was a lot more to it. It was like he's been taking pictures with a lot of UFC fighters, not really any PFL, like a lot of bullshit like that. I thought it was funny though.
Well, he was seen with Dana too. He took a picture with Dana. I can't remember where they met. I think it was at an Abu Dhabi card or something. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like they were like he's been around for a minute. So for them to just be like, I definitely think that was like a situation where like Dana was like, okay, that main event just sucked. I feel like I got to get out there and say something. That's what I think he probably felt like he had to do, which sucked because that's not what that's like the worst case scenario. Why would you not just announce that fucking fight?
What a company man moment, right?
Yeah, I did not understand at all why they decided to go ahead and announce it after the card, announce it during the card, or even announce it at the press conference. It would have made way more sense than announcing it after the card, but yeah, whatever, man.
Not even that, but even leading into the main event, we get, guys, I just got word from the UFC that they have just signed Michael Venom Page,
Yeah, like, there were so many, because then you have, like, 296 is one of their biggest cards of the year, and you're setting this up and you're announcing, okay, this guy right here is the real fucking deal. He's fighting in March, like show an MVP highlight reel or something,
You could have played a promo too. They could have done a lot of things. They could have really done a lot here, and they dropped the ball. It's honestly one of my biggest disappointments this year in the UFC. The fact that they didn't make this be a lot cooler, like it should have been.
Yeah.
But regardless, I mean, we got him here. We can't complain. He's here, and he has a banger matchup. And to be on a pay-per-view, and they realize I think they realize his skill set, man, because they throw him right into the wolves, and the guy in Kevin Holland who's game as fuck. By the way, those guys are going to have banger of a press conference. I'm sure that lead-up's going to be insane. By the way, the main event for that is that a Cejudo Cheeto? Or not Cejudo Cheeto, I mean Sean Cheeto?
It is, yeah, $299.
So yeah, I mean, and like, we didn't even mention all the other fights that got announced on that, but yeah, that's a stacked fucking card early on in the year, man. That could potentially already be card of the year, to begin 2024, without even it happening yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly, dude. I mean, I don't know how the fuck they're gonna compete with UFC, like 300, like 299. I mean, like they are stacking that card up so high, dude.
Well, one thing we already do know for UFC 300 is I'm pretty sure we pretty much have Bo Nickel confirmed.
Yeah.
Which is like, Bo is not going to be like, he might be on the main card, he may not be, that's the other crazy thing. But I think that, at least for me, I was like, that's a good sign. I think Bo being on it is good. It's been a while since we've seen Bo. Bo's got a lot of fans behind him. I mean, already that's a big name already in the card, Josh, without his opponent even being announced.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
And Dana did say that we were going to be like, holy shit, off first fight. This guy's on the prelims, which one thing that there was some asshole who's like, but they're going to have Jim Miller on or I forgot who it was. They were like, and I'm like, you fucking dickhead. Come on. You can't tell me that's not a good matchup, regardless.
Yeah.
I digress.
Yeah, no, it's alright, man. Look, I mean, I'm excited for UFC 300, but dude, I don't know how they're going to compete. I mean, UFC 299 is so fucking stacked, so we'll see, though. We'll see. I mean, they still got a lot of time. He said that Jim Miller is 100% going to be on it, which, I mean, if he wins his next fight, I guess. I mean, medical suspensions do matter, bro. I mean, but we'll see. We'll see.
Hey, man, you just need a doctor to sign off on that shit.
That's true. That's true. They can get anybody to sign off anything, dude. Especially in Nevada, which is where it's going to happen. So, anyways, man, any closing thoughts? That's all we got for news. All we got for previews and recaps. Anything you want to go ahead and tell the Soundoff fans or anything else we want to talk about?
Man, I'm excited to close out the year, Josh. I mean, we're not done yet. I don't want to break down the whole year just yet, but made it really far this year. We have the Soundoff Awards next week, which is always probably one of the funnest podcasts out of the whole year that we do. Obviously, every pay-per-view preview is fun. Every pay-per-view recap is also fun, but I mean, to have a unique show where we aren't recapping fights necessarily is, and for it to be as fun as it is really cool.
100%, man. 100%. And yeah, man, I mean, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Definitely an interesting one because we previewed boxing a lot more than we normally do. And hope you guys just enjoy it. We're going to do the Soundoff Awards next week. After that, maybe we'll have like a fan question week. We'll talk about news. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a big way to close out the year. And 2023 has been so big for us, and we appreciate that so much. And I'm Josh Evanoff on Twitter. He's at NGRotakeout_01 at Courtside Sound for all things relating to the show. Hope you guys enjoyed. And Merry Christmas. Peace and butt grease. Mouse click.